Have you ever tried to use the generate layout command in Revit to size and automatically route your piping? Well, Revit gives us a bunch of options for automatic routing, but they just don't appear to really work for us. Even if we go to place base and I put it right here, there's just not a lot of options that will work with our plumbing systems. And even if we do pick one of the options, when we hit finish layout, Revit displays this wacky system with crazy sizes that don't make any sense. I don't think anybody would be using a 6-inch water pipe for their water closets like this. So what I'm going to do in this video is I'm going to show you guys how to utilize this command and really leverage how awesome it can be. We're just going to have to use a couple tips and tricks to get it to work in our favor. So if you guys don't already know, I'm Revit MEP guy, and I'm creating an online course for people that are trying to become experts at Revit. And in this video, I'm going to show you guys how to automatically size and route using the generate layout command and the automatic sizing commands in Revit. So like always, the first thing we're going to do is open up a new plumbing default template. And once the plumbing default template opens, let's go ahead and draw some walls for our water closet. Let's use this rectangle. Now let's add our water closets to these walls. Go to Systems, Plumbing Fixture. And since we have a plumbing template open, water closets are already loaded. So let's use this public 1.6 GPF, put it about 6 feet from the wall, hit escape, let's select it, use our array command, and let's create 6 of these fixtures. So we'll make this 6, and we'll go about 6 feet. Since this is 6 feet from this wall, let's make these the same distance from each wall, so that's 6 feet. So let's go ahead and make this 6 feet as well. And now that we have these walls, let's just delete these. So the first thing I need to do when I'm going to use any of these automatic sizing tools is I need to create a system. So I select all of my water closets and I go up here to piping, and that creates a piping system. You can select the system type using the drop down, and it's going to give us 2 types of systems for this fixture. So let's select domestic cold water, hit OK, and now we've created a domestic cold water system. If we want to edit its colors, we can go to edit type, hit edit. And I'm going to change the color so you guys can see it a little better in my black background. Let's do this light blue color. Hit OK. Now I'm going to open up a 3D view so you guys can see the different layouts that Revit gives us. So let's use this section box. Let's go ahead and make this section box a little bigger. And let's just hide our levels. So we'll right click, hide in view, category. We'll hide our section box, and we'll also hide our walls. Let's drag this 3D view over here, and now that we have this all lined up, we can see both views at the same time. So let's select our system by tabbing into it, clicking, and you know the system is selected because it says piping system right here. We hit this generate layout command, and Revit's going to give us some options for our layout. Now, right now it's on solution type network. And this command is actually made for mechanical HVAC mostly, but we can do a couple things to make this work for us. So if we hit this next solution, Revit's going to cycle through these solutions. But typically for a domestic water system or any water piping system, you're going to have a starting point. So we're going to actually use this place base, and we're just going to place it right here at the wall. Let's maybe go right there. And now Revit resets, so what we have to do is go back to solutions, and we can cycle through the solutions again, making sure we're checking out our 3D view. And as you can see, none of the solutions are really what we want. That one looks okay, but it's not perfect. We can go to the settings button right here and change the offset, and what that will do is bring our main piping down. So maybe we bring it down to, I don't know, 3 feet. Branch, we'll bring it down to 3 feet as well, hit OK. And that looks okay, so let's go ahead and just finish the layout. And we'll turn our thick lines, we'll turn those off. I'm going to change the detail level to fine so you guys can see what happens here. Now, the size of this pipe actually comes from the base that we placed. We should have probably set that to maybe 2 inches. But as you can see, this is not really the size of the pipe we want, and no plumber is ever going to install it like this. Not to mention there are drop symbols right by our fixtures. So none of this is looking good, and this is really not what we want and not how we want to display on our drawings. So there's got to be a better way. So the trick that I've showed in my sanitary sizing video, and you can check that out, there should be a link somewhere. But what we need to do is we need to find the elevation of this piece right here. So I'm going to click on that piece of pipe. And what we can do is we can take this middle elevation right here, and we can right click and hit copy. And now that we have that elevation, we can utilize that for our mains and our branch lines like we did. So let's select all these pieces of pipe using the tab, and then we'll just delete them. And let's select our system again, zoom in, select our system by tabbing, clicking. Let's go back to generate layout. Let's place our base, and right now let's go to this view by clicking into it, and we'll place our base right here. We'll go to solutions, and we'll cycle through our solutions to the one that looked good. That one looks good, but we just need to adjust these elevations, so we'll go to settings. And now what we can do is we can click into here, and we can just hit Control V and paste our elevation in. Control V. And when we hit OK, now the branch line and the main lines are at the same elevation as the inlet of this fixture, so everything should work now. So let's go back here and let's hit Finish Layout, and that looks a lot better. Now we have the main and our branch lines teeing right into our fixture like we want it. But we want to obviously change the sizing so that it makes sense. So what we'll do is we'll tab into all of our pieces of pipe, and we'll click. And now we'll use this duct pipe sizing button or tool. When we click on that, we can select sizing method, and the sizing method I'm going to use is by velocity. And you can check your local codes or any of your company standards, but typically you want to stay between 5 and 8 feet per second for water piping. So we'll make our max 8 feet per second. For our branch sizing, we're going to actually use the match connector size, and what that will do is it'll match the piece of pipe right here to this connector size. So if I have a 1-inch connector on my water closet, it'll make sure that piece is 1 inch, and that's how they're going to install it in the field. So we're going to click OK, and now our pipe's been sized to keep all of the velocities of the water in this piping to a max of 8 feet per second. So if we click on, let's say, this piece right here, we go to our properties panel, and the GPM is 54 GPM, our fixture units are 60, and our velocity is 5.75, which is under 8. And to show you guys what happens if we make this maybe a 1-inch piece of pipe, as you can see, the velocity goes all the way up to 22 feet per second. So obviously we don't want a one-inch piece of pipe right there. So let's change it back to 2 inches. So everything's looking good. We might need to make some modifications here. Maybe I don't want this supply line to be 1 inches throughout, so maybe I'll select these pieces right here, and we'll change these to 1.5 inches. And what that will do is that will make this line from 2 inches to 1.5 inches all the way through, and then when it gets to T right here into this fixture, it'll make it 1 inch right here. So that's all you have to do, guys, to automatically size your piping. You just have to make sure that your main line and your branch line are at the same elevation as your fixture. Now, there's another thing we would want to do in the real world. Typically, we're not going to have our water piping tee right into this fixture. Typically, there's going to be a little offset here for a flush valve fixture. And what we can do is we can change the fixture itself to create an offset. So we can make that anything we want. So in the next video, I'm going to show you guys how to customize this fixture so we can control those parameters. Thanks for watching, and make sure to check out my courses at revitmepguy.com.